This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News, joined by Galal Yafai here in Birmingham. Galal, take two. I just didn't press record at the start of that. But how are you doing before we come on to all the juicy stuff?
Yeah, not too bad. Same old stuff. Just going along. Do you know what I mean?
Press conference here today for your next outing with a former amateur foe, a family rival in Sonny Edwards. Did you ever think that at this stage in your professional career you two would have crossed paths? Did you think rather it might have been a bit further down the line with a full world title on the line? How do you assess it all now that we are here?
You know what? I never ever think, oh, it's gonna happen for this or that's gonna happen then. I'll just go with it. I'm a boxer. I'm living my life. I'm boxing. I'm training. Whenever Matchroom wanted to present that fight, it was gonna get made, and they did, and it happened. It's happening. So now it's just getting prepared for the fight in 8-9 weeks.
He's been quite adamant in the build-up to this. Today was very respectful, just to add, but previously, I've interviewed him and he's suggested that you've somewhat been kind of pushed into this fight by Matchroom. Do you feel like that, or was this a fight that you always wanted once it was proposed?
Yeah, it's a fight that... There's not one fight that I want. I'm a pride fighter. I'm going to fight if the money's correct and whatever's on the line and whatnot. Sonny, we've had a rivalry, we've had history, and I think I want to get back because I beat me as an amateur. I say that, but to be fair, it's something that happened so long ago, and I don't care too much about it. But it's nice to build it on that and say he beat me as an amateur. We've sparred numerous times, we respect each other. He's earned my respect because of how he fights. He's a good fighter, he's former world champion, and. When do you often see flyweights getting this much attention? You don't, do you? So he was a dance partner for me. He knew I was a dance partner for him. It just made sense.
During Sonny's professional career, with probably the exception of, say, the last 18 months, we've been used to seeing him kind of box on the back foot a bit more, show his technical ability. Recently, he's been kind of standing, trading a little bit more, as we saw with the BAM fight, for example. How would you expect to see him approach this fight, and were your spars more similar to an all-aggressive, action-packed sparring session, or was it more you kind of being the aggressor, Sonny trying to use his technical ability?
Well, hopefully he stands there and make it fight a bit easier, maybe. But all jokes aside, Sonny's going to do what he's good at. The sparring, he does what he's good at, which is moving. He's not going to stand there with me and whatnot. He's not going to get the best out of the spar, and he's not going to... Everyone's got their specialities and what they're really good at, and he's good at moving and being awkward, and thankfully I'm good at coming forward maybe a little bit more. But whatever style he brings on the night, I've got to be prepared for that, and I'm sure whatever style I bring on the night, he's going to try and be prepared for that. But we'll see.
Obviously, Sonny had a bad cut from his last fight with Adrian Curiel. There's going to be a lot of talk about if that might open up or not. Obviously, seeing him today, you can see the scarring coming in. Is that something which might play on your mind, maybe look to target it, try and get it to open up during the fight?
No, not really. I can't go into a fight hoping that a cut opens up on his head. It's skin, it heals. It's tough, unless it's a head clash or whatnot. Hopefully there's not, because you want to win fair, you want to win right. I want to win decisively, not from a silly cut. So hopefully it all goes well in that scenario and in that case. But I just want to be the better man on the night, and hopefully I am.
You mentioned earlier on how he has one victory over you from the amateur days. He was quite kind of forceful of his opinion in the press conference then about the amateur setup and the chances you had that he missed out on. What did you make of what he had to say around kind of opportunities that were presented to you as opposed to what he was given?
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, what he's saying is all bullshit and I got favour. He's lying and whatnot. I think I justified it. I won Olympic gold, so I think I was the right person to go to the Olympics. I think it was there. It's black and white to see, isn't it? Maybe if I'd been given 3 or 4 chances and fluffed in all of them, then you'd probably start to wonder and say, yeah. But I won Olympic gold. I became the better fighter at the time. I know he beat me, but it was like a little decision, a split decision. It was close, back and forth. I think potentially I was a better fighter, had a better amateur, but you never know. He could have gone to Olympics and done well, or he could have gone to Olympics and not done anything. We don't know. It's all smoke and mirrors. Do you know what I mean? And we get a chance to prove that on November the 5th.
That was going to be my next question. I know it's a hypothetical. Let's say if Sonny had the opportunity that you had, how do you think a potential Olympics could have played out for himself?
You know what? You never know. It's a hard question to answer. Obviously, there's a lot of good amateurs and they're very good boxers. I think the thing that won it for me in the Olympics was the fact that not a lot could cope with what I bring to the table. I think, listen, I don't want to sit here and put Sonny down and say he wouldn't have won anything, but I think there's a lot of good boxers in the Olympics, especially the way he boxes as well. But you never know. He could have done well. It's all hypothetical. You don't know what would have happened.
As I mentioned earlier on, obviously it's a family rivalry. Charlie and your brother Cal, at some points they were talking about potentially fighting. We never quite got that one over the line. Is it a personal family rivalry?
For me, it's not. I try not to take anything personal. It's a sport. We're all trying to get to one place. He's trying to get there. I'm trying to get there. We're just both in each other's way. I think it's just a sporting rivalry. For me, it doesn't need to go anywhere beyond that. I know some people like a bit of clout, and you see his brother with his little duck and whatnot. It's just childish. It's one of them, how original. But yeah, he's trying to build his career again, isn't he? And he's going to try and do that in the back of Sonny maybe. But fair play to him. He's going to do his thing. He's going to do what he can to make as much money as he can and be as relevant as he can. And I don't think it's a bad thing. It is what it is.
They always say with boxers they need the right dance partners to get that right recognition and kind of build their platforms individually. Do you feel like just yourself and Sonny, you're both just intertwined in terms of your careers? What you both need at this stage to really kind of kick on and to build further?
Yeah, definitely. I think so. We've been rivals from 2015. So it's a long time, man. How old were you then? I've asked everyone this.
It was 9 years ago. So
yeah.
I was 18.
Yeah, so 18. So you think how long ago that was and what you were doing in your life then. So it's a long time ago, and it's a long time for something to brew for years and years and years. And like I said earlier, he's gone and done his thing, became world champion. I went on my route, became Olympic champion. So it was. I also got to thank him. I said earlier, I got to thank him because I wouldn't have a dance partner if he didn't go on to become world champion, and he wouldn't have a dance partner if I didn't go on to become Olympic champion. So in the background, we both got to thank each other and say, "Fucking hell, thank for doing so well because you've helped me out." But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to go in there and try and hurt him. He's going to try and, I was going to say he's going to try and hurt me, but he's going to try and outbox me maybe. Maybe he might try and hurt me, but I'm going to go in there and try and step my authority and do it that way.
Who has more to lose?
It's a good question. You know what? Maybe he has got more to lose. Thinking about it, because he's already lost. He's been a world champion. He's fighting someone who's 7-0, and he doesn't want to really lose to me. But then I've got the pressure. We've all got pressures. But I'd rather have this pressure than pressures of other things going on in the world. So we're in a fortunate position.
We know you're not much of kind of a trash talker, if you will, Galal, and you've been respectful, as I say, in the build up to this. But does this fight excite you more? Does he get those juices flowing more as opposed to those past opponents? Because it's like I said, whether you want to say or not, it seems a little personal. There's that rivalry which goes back many years. Does he get those juices flowing a lot more than what you've had previously?
1,000,000%. You can see already, I seen for the the reaction of everyone. They fight Yafai Edwards. To fight everyone's looked forward to.
Should it be Yafai Edwards instead of Edwards Yafai?
No, so I'll give him Edwards Yafai. You know what? I'll give him his due respect. He's been a world champion. He's got a good name. To me, I don't really mind. I don't really mind as long as I win the fight and I come prepared. I should win and I should catapult my own name. But he's been at the top as a professional. I want to get to that stage. Hopefully, he's a stepping stone to that.
Without giving too much away, Galal, how do you envisage November 30th playing out for yourself?
Me just getting in there and just knocking them. You know what? I don't know. Obviously nobody knows anything. Anything can happen. I've got to be prepared I've got to try and cover everything. Boxing's a mad old game, man. Anything can happen on the night. When you got nerves and the pressures and everyone's there and We'll see what happens, but obviously I'm looking to do what I do, and he's going to look to do what he does. But well, for one thing for sure is we don't know who the winner's going to be, but for certain the winner's going to be the fans, and I'm happy to deliver that as well.
Do you see this as a 50-50?
To be fair, I do, yeah. I always see it as a 50-50, sorry. I know a lot of people say, you got to be confident and you got to think you're going to win. Of course I think I'm going to win, but I know I'm not stupid and deluded at the same time. Loads of things could happen in that fight. You know, I could win by knockout, I could stop him, and I could, of course I can beat him on points. More than likely, if he's gonna beat someone, he's gonna beat him on points. So I envision a lot of things happening, but hopefully my hands raised at the end of the fight.
I have to ask Galal, and I imagine this is something which kind of fuels your motivation. Nobody likes to lose in life. Would a defeat to Sonny Edwards hurt more than, say, fighting for a world title and losing?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. You know what? I don't know. It's one of them ones where I'd have to see if it actually ever happened. Nobody wants to lose, but we've got a long-standing rivalry, if you want to put it that way. Yeah, he's a rivalry. But I'm not even thinking about losing him. I won't be happy losing. I'm sure you won't. So that's why. I think that's why I make for a better fight as well, because I said it earlier again. He's stubborn. I'm stubborn. He don't want to lose to me. I don't want to lose to him. Trust me. So it's not good for the loser, obviously, mentally. But the right winner will win, and it'll be a good fight for the fans.
Do you see this, Galal, as a potential kind of a rivalry which continues further? So it might go on to have a trilogy, for example. If this first fight delivers what you've said it does in sparring, we could be in for years of Edwards Yafai back and forth moving forwards.
I think so, yeah. Like, I'm not the type to really throw things out there like that, but I think so. I think the spars are too good, and it's not even just the fighting, the actual physical fighting. It's the mental. I'm stubborn, man. I don't want to lose to Sonny, and I know he's stubborn. He ain't gonna lose to me, and you've seen it in sparring. It's times where I might be having a good spell when he's a bit tired, and he's not giving in. So even more so in a fight when there's people there with the little gloves on, and it's an actual fight, and there's a winner and a loser. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
How much is Rob looking forward to this?
Yeah, I think Rob. Obviously, Rob's been in loads of fights now. With Froch and Joshua, and fighters like that. So I think Rob's just going to get me prepared, and obviously he's going to do all he can to get me to win.
Final one from me, Galal. You mentioned Anthony Joshua, obviously former GB campmate of yours. Recent defeat to Daniel Dubois in quite a dominant and devastating fashion. What did you make of it?
Yeah, he wasn't great, but Daniel Dubois on the up. Has Josh had his day? I don't know. But he's a great fighter. Josh has done brilliant things for boxing, and he's someone I've looked up to for years. I used to watch him when I first turned amateur and he first turned professional, and I used to see him and just starting out. To see what he's become is unbelievable. I think we all looked up to Josh at one point in our lives, and he's been a good servant for not just British boxing, but boxing in the world.
I don't think nobody can disagree with that. He's obviously done a tremendous job for everybody within boxing in all different roles and opportunities which are out there. Just on that note, you'll know him as well as anyone. He's shown in the past if he's had a defeat, he wants to jump straight in there. Did it with Andy Ruiz, did it with Alexander Usyk. The rematch with Daniel Dubois, do you think it would be a right move of his to go straight back in for that?
Yeah, I wouldn't. But obviously Josh is his own man, and he's earned the right to decide what he wants to do. I know if I fought someone and they'd beat me up in 5 rounds and knock me out, I don't think people would really want to see that again. But I think Josh has earned the right to choose what he wants to do, and I'm sure he's smart enough to choose the right thing.
Well, Galal, I appreciate your time now. Good luck with the rest of camp, and I'm sure I'll see you in fight week.
You will, mate. You will.
Speaking of which, Galal, mixed grill Eddie's come back down the railway. He came. I can't remember what show it was now. Denny Cash, he came to the railway, so he's on the mixed grill train now.
You know what? I need to stay off a mixed grill myself. Hopefully after the fight I can have.
After you fight, we'll all go for a mixed grill.
I'm game, mate. I'm game.
Perfect, Tom.